Here's the thing, y'all. After watching people walk away from certain kitchen choices and settle into others, one thing becomes really clear to me. Kitchens don't fail because of a single bad color. They fail because colors are chosen in isolation. They're just picked randomly. One color tries to do too much work, and the space ends up feeling either sterile or totally overpowering and just over the top. The kitchens that actually feel really good to live in now are built around pairings. Two colors that support each other instead of conflicting and competing with one another. That's one of the big shifts that's happening in 2026. Instead of asking, what color should my kitchen be? People should be asking, what colors work together in this space? And that question changes everything. Getting right into this whole thing, one of the most reliable pairings right now that I'll start off with is a soft off-white, not a super bright white, paired with a grounded neutral. This directly solves that ultra bright white problem without abandoning light kitchens entirely. I read the comments, guys. I see what you're saying. I know a lot of you still like the timeless look of a white kitchen. I still recommend white kitchens to a lot of people, but in a slightly different way. The idea of off-white is the important distinction here. It keeps the space open and clean, which a lot of people gravitate towards, but then you also add in that grounded neutral, which adds some visual weight and purposefulness, so the kitchen doesn't feel empty and hollow and totally lifeless. A pairing like Benjamin Moore's White Dove with Pashmina does this beautifully. I've talked about White Dove ad nauseum. It is one of my all-time favorite warm whites for kitchen cabinets. It has a lovely softness to it. The color keeps things nice and calm. And then when you incorporate Pashmina alongside it, it grounds the space without feeling super dense and heavy. Sherwin-Williams Alabaster with a restrained use of accessible beige can achieve a similar effect when used intentionally, but the thing about Alabaster I find in kitchens sometimes can go a little more yellow than you might expect. White Dove, on the other hand, doesn't really have a lot of that. It's more of that creamy touch that is soft and just super duper reliable. This kind of pairing, it works especially well with lighter perimeter cabinets and a slightly deeper island or lower cabinetry. So what you can do is have the White Dove on the uppers perhaps, and then Pashmina on the lowers or on the island. Or sometimes you can incorporate that third color, or maybe Pashmina becomes the wall color, White Dove goes on the cabinets, and then on the island, you have a little pop of something else. But for a lot of people, those two colors are usually going to be sufficient. I love mushrooms, specifically mushroom-leaning neutrals. And when they're paired with warm whites, they completely obliterate the cooler gray kitchen trend from the past in a very quiet and demure way. We love it. To me, this pairing works because it does a great job at bridging materials and connecting them instead of fighting them. Mushroom neutrals sit between warm and cool. They're a bit more taupe-leaning generally compared to Pashmina, which we talked about. I find mushroom neutrals to be both interesting, but also incredibly flexible with things like stainless steel, wood tones, and stone. And we're seeing a lot more wood in the kitchen. Make sure you don't put too much water on it. Rotting. When you pair a color like Collingwood with my boy White Dove, love that color. The result feels calm, cohesive, and lived in without looking dated. You can also go for something like Sherwin-Williams Gossamer Veil, and maybe for a cooler touch, you can also go with Drift of Mist, potentially, and then maybe pure white to go alongside it. Clean with just a hint of warmth. Overall, it's a slightly cooler pairing, but still rich and grounded. These kitchens don't demand attention, and that's exactly why people feel comfortable in them long term. Super important. It's not just about what looks cool today on your phone. It's about incorporating a color palette that works in the long run. Really, really crucial. One thing that becomes really super duper obvious when you start thinking in terms of color pairings instead of singular colors is how easy it is to get one half of the pairing right and the other half wrong. Because now you're doubling your chances of screwing up. A color can look awesome on its own and then completely fall apart once it's next to cabinets, your countertops, your backsplash. That's especially true in a kitchen where your lighting changes constantly and materials bounce color everywhere. This is why testing color pairings properly matters more than people realize. And that's where today's sponsor Samplize comes into play. Being able to move samples around the kitchen, hold them next to each other, and see how they behave together over a few days or even weeks if you want. It gives you extreme confidence, way more than looking at a stupid little dinky paint chip. because they're just too small. That's why I love Samplies. Their peel and stick samples let you test real Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams, even Faro and Ball colors right in your space without committing to any paint. No more tester pots that you gotta crack open and paint and then get all these brush marks on your wall. None of that. You just use our Samplies link down below, get super fast delivery, and now you have beautiful samples that you can not only use, but reuse and peel them off and stick them on other parts of the wall. It's great. And in this case, you can see how the two colors in your pairing actually interact before making a permanent decision. Once again, I'll put that Samplies link down below if you want a smarter way to test kitchen colors before you commit. Another pairing that consistently works is Midtone cabinetry supported by a softer, quieter neutral surrounding it. This avoids the problem of cabinets becoming the personality of the kitchen while still giving the space some noticeable depth. And when the cabinet color lives in this mid-range, it feels like you made a choice, but it's not going to scream at the rooftops, or you're not going to get bored of it too fast. So Benjamin Moore's Cape May cobblestone, for example, paired with classic gray on the walls, is a good example. The cabinetry, it has presence to it, but the walls don't compete. You can also use Sherwin-Williams Dovetail paired with Drift of Mist again, because it creates a similar balance and it just feels complete. The kitchen feels designed, not like it was styled without really thinking about it, and that distinction matters more than people realize. Let's get deep. Dark islands paired with restrained perimeter colors, they continue to work in 2026 because they use contrast without aggression or forcefulness, like the break and enter of color selection. It's kind of violent. Instead of high contrast black and white, these kitchens rely on depth, but in a nice controlled way. A pairing like Benjamin Moore's Iron Mountain on the island, and then maybe something like Decorator's White on the perimeter, feels grounded and confident without being harsh. For a slightly warmer take, you can use Sherwin-Williams Black Fox paired with Creamy, which achieves a similar effect when the dark is used as an anchor, but not a full-on takeover. That's really important. These kitchens feel stable, they don't shout, and they don't fade. They're there, but they're not going to scream at you. Another pairing that's quietly gaining traction flips the old formula entirely. Warm neutral cabinetry with a slightly deeper wall color. This feels a little more architectural to me and works especially well in those more open concept homes where maybe you do want a little more of an impact in that kitchen area. So when cabinets and the walls live in that same family, but at different levels of depth, the kitchen ends up feeling cohesive instead of segmented. So something like Benjamin Moore's Natural Cream paired with Bare and Plain is a great example of this approach. The cabinets feel warm and approachable, while the walls add some structure. It just shows you don't have to go super dark or super light. You're still within a relative range of depth, but there's enough contrast there to distinguish themselves. You can also use Sherwin-Williams Natural Linen paired with Balanced Beige, which does something similar when handled with restraint. Soft color paired with neutral restraint is replacing the idea of statement kitchens. The only statement your kitchen should be making is, get a load of this delicious borscht I made. What up, Eastern Europe? Instead of committing the entire kitchen to one bold color, personality is introduced in a controlled way. A muted green or blue works best when it has a calm neutral partner. Sherwin-Williams Drift of Mist paired with Mineral Deposit is one of my favorite neutral pairings in kitchens. It's grounded, sophisticated, has some wonderful complementary qualities without going over the top with it. To me, a pairing like that really feels expressive, but still kind of safe. It's not forcing the issue here, which I really like. Not because the color is timid, but because it's supported by the right partner. The common thread across all these pairings is balance. Kitchens work when colors support each other instead of competing. And when one color carries all the responsibility, it's too much pressure for that poor color. Like, give the color a break. When the two colors share that load and they have that teamwork going on, we love it. The kitchen feels calm, flexible, and you probably are less likely to change it, which is great because we gotta save those pennies. This is what people are responding to right now. Not trends, not boldness for its own sake, just combinations that quietly make life easier. Doesn't that sound great?